I gotta admit, it surprises me to see how many great players that went undrafted in their time in the NFL. Guys like Warren Moon and John Randall and Willie Brown and Rod Smith, just to name a few. But at least to a degree, those guys are shown proper respect in the world of football. But Priest Holmes is rarely brought up for some reason, which is probably something that he's used to because majority of his career in college and in the pros, until he had his breakout opportunity, he was in the shadow of a lot of people. I mean, it's bad enough this guy had to share the backfield at Texas with Ricky Williams, who was all anybody in football world was talking about. Even the times where he outshined Williams in the backfield and rushing, he still went undrafted. And even though he was eventually picked up by the Baltimore Ravens, he was still the fourth running back on the depth chart. He didn't have to wait for injuries and departures and even get a shot in Baltimore. And when he did get shots, he took advantage of those opportunities in '98, getting 1,000 yards rushing, and even in one game, getting over 200 yards rushing. So the talent was there. It was sitting right in people's faces. We just needed somebody to take advantage of the situation. And after his time was spent in Baltimore, after becoming a Super Bowl champion, had to go out and see who would give him another shot. And it just so happens that Dick Vermeil, the new head coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, who was a college football commentator back when Priest Holmes was at Texas, was in the market for a new tailback for his new ball club. And he decided to do some digging on Holmes. Because according to him, when he went around at that time and asking the coaches and staff about the players on the team and at the running back position, the one that was getting the most praise was Priest Holmes. Dick Vermeil remembered that, and he brought in Priest Holmes, and they were set on a mission to do something great. Now, even though it took a while for the entire team to become an offensive powerhouse, Priest Holmes was showing exactly the reason that Vermeil brought him there in the first place. Holmes rushed for 1,555 yards in his first year in Kansas City, which led the league. And speaking of leading the league, he led the league in rushing touchdowns the next 2 years, with 2002 having 21, and in 2003 knocking out 27, which broke the record held by Emmitt Smith of most rushing touchdowns in a season. And even though that record didn't last long, the fact that Priest Holmes was having multiple games, multiple rushing touchdowns in a game, that's something special. In that period of time, nobody was more on fire than Priest Holmes when it came to the rushing attack. KC knew they were giving him the ball. The opponents knew he was getting the ball. Even the fans knew he was getting the ball. And they still couldn't stop him. Now, one of the things that I think kind of hindered Priest Holmes actually becoming even greater than he could possibly be was the front office in Kansas City. Instead of making moves and bringing in defensive guys or offensive weapons or tackles to do anything to help the offense or Priest Holmes to take the team to a new height, management was doing nothing but getting more running backs, thinking that, this is just a one-hit wonder. And of course, this is football, and for a running back, injuries can be real dire to their career. Priest Holmes had his fair share of those kind of injuries. But we can make excuses about this all we want. There are plenty of guys in the NFL Hall of Fame that have numbers that Priest Holmes either shattered or they're nowhere near his. So the fact that he's not even in the Hall is kind of head-scratching. But hey, I guess we should all be satisfied that he's in the Kansas City Chiefs Ring of Honor, right? Well, I mean, that's cool and all, but everybody knows Priest Holmes belongs in the Hall of Fame. He may not have the numbers of an Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders, but the position, the running back position, getting in the Hall of Fame in the first place is somebody that plays the game and changes the way it's played. And I think Priest Holmes falls in that category. There's no question. But one thing I know for sure, it took his head coach a while to get into the Hall of Fame. Dick Vermeil's finally in there. So maybe, just maybe, the guy he scouted in college in Texas, maybe he'll join him one day too. But until then, let's respect the name.